Hi everyone, this is Jane here to pop up our Halloween reading, doing this on Halloween evening. So happy Halloween to everybody, or happy Samhain if that is a festival that you celebrate. Hope you're having a really good day and you're having a really good night. So I'm going to put down a couple of cards from a couple of my spooky decks, and just to kind of give us the energy for tonight, moving into tomorrow and the weekend, because I did the first part of the week with my weekly cards, and I thought I'd save the end of the week and the weekend until now, and we could have a little Halloween energied reading. So I've shuffled them all up so they didn't have to shuffle them whilst you're watching, just so that I can keep the video just about the reading rather than shuffling, seeing as we get so tight for time on these readings. So I'm going to just turn over. This is from the Halloween Tarot, and our card from the Halloween Tarot, let me just move them back a little bit so we can see, is our Seven of Pumpkins. So what the Seven of Pumpkins talks about is, interestingly enough, a card for me that talks about kind of reevaluating, looking at what you've got, looking at what you're putting your effort into. Is your effort bringing you the sort of rewards that you would like it to bring? So it's a really interesting card to have at this time of year, because we've just had we're just going into Mercury retrograde today, and what Mercury retrograde quite often asks us to do is to reevaluate, look at things again, reassess whether they're worth it for us, just generally looking at what's going on and reflecting on it and seeing if there's anything that we need to change, seeing if there's anything we need to go back and redo, seeing if there's anything that we need to completely let go of. So there's a real energy of that reevaluating, looking at what you already have, looking at what you're building for yourself, what you're building for your future. So really appropriate for going into this kind of Mercury retrograde time, which runs from now to the 20th of November. But, we will be still feeling the effects after that up until around about the 7th of December, because then we go into like this whole shadow period. So energy of reevaluating, looking at what we have, looking at what we're spending our energy on. Are you putting your energy into something that is worth it, or is it really not worth it? So it's a good question to be asking yourself over the next few days, and certainly over the next couple of weeks going through November, because that's your whole Mercury retrograde time. But specifically, these cards are for this weekend. So, it might not be a bad idea to ask yourself, what am I doing this weekend? Is it bringing me joy, or am I just doing it and it's not really giving me anything back? In which case, do I need to be doing it? So that's a really, really interesting energy for us for the first part of the weekend. Then I have from the Everyday Witch, Tarot. So I keep getting my tarots and oracles mixed up at the moment. This is the Everyday Witch Tarot. So I'll just pop him here actually, and we can see both of them. Let's just move the camera around a little bit. There we go. So from the Everyday Witch Tarot, we've got the Knight of Swords. So as you can see, the Knight of Swords is moving forward. The Swords cards tend to talk about our thought processes, having that quick thinking, moving forward, being very direct. Interestingly enough, it talks about communication. And communication is one of those things that in Mercury retrograde we have to be aware of, because it can affect our communication. We can get misunderstood. We might be trying to communicate with somebody, they're not communicating with us. If we're not very direct about what we say, they might not get it. So the Knight of Swords is talking about very direct communication, being very clear about what you want to say and what you want to get across, what message you want to get across, excuse me. So the Knight of Swords is asking you to focus on that, focus on your communication. What the Knight of Swords also talks about is changes, and it can bring about like a very quick change for you. And being a Swords card, it's about the mind and it's about thinking. So it could be that you have a change of mind about something, you know. And bear in mind, we've just had the Seven of Pumpkins, which is asking us to say, reevaluate what you're doing, what you're spending your time on, what you're putting your efforts into. And, you know, maybe once you've reevaluated that, we then move into this Knight of Swords energy, which might well see you changing your mind about whether that's worth it or not. So really interesting couple of cards that go together here that ask you to look at where you're spending your energy and, if necessary, change your mind about it. But also be very focused and very clear on your communications over the weekend so that you don't get misunderstood and that you don't misunderstand others. If you're not sure what they're talking about, ask them to say it again. You know, just don't just assume things this weekend, because if you do, then the chances are you might not get it right. So be clear, ask for clarity. So those are our two lovely cards for the weekend. I hope you've enjoyed those. I really enjoy working with these Halloween tarot. I just wish that Halloween could go on for a little bit longer. And what I might do is to carry on using them a little bit more over the next month, maybe through November. I might use my vampire card and my vampire cards and my everyday witch through November. I might delve back into the Halloween oracle cards because I don't feel like I've had enough use out of those really. I do try and put up a card a day, but unfortunately things have been very, very hectic here and I just haven't been able to do it. So I don't feel like I've really used them to the extent that I would like to have done. So I might just extend Halloween a couple of weeks and carry on using them and work with the spooky decks a little bit more. Definitely feel like I'm justified in doing it through this weekend anyway. You know, especially because we've got firework night and all of that. That's quite a sort of spooky time too. So thank you ever so much for watching. Really hope that you've enjoyed this little mini weekend reading. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up and please do come subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween.